Hi, everybody. How are you? Happy Friday. I don't know about you, but Friday doesn't mean anything anymore. The weekends are exactly the same as the weekday. But today we are going to be making buried treasure muffins. So, my friend and son, Rain, is here. And
Hello.
he is going to help us make these muffins. He's going to show you how easy it is. Rain's 10. He does these muffins all the time for our family. He's really good at baking. So, he's going to help make these. So buried treasure muffins, why are these fun and easy for your family to make? Well, they're a super easy recipe, probably with stuff that you have around the house. I'm going to give you some substitutions as well that you can use. And they're fun because we put little surprises in the middle of the muffin. And that's why they're called buried treasure muffins. So you never know what you're going to get. You're like Forrest Gump, box of chocolates. It's amazing. Ooh, chocolates. Anyway, so we're going to get started here with these recipes. It's a basic banana muffin recipe. We use whole wheat flour. You can use whatever you've got. In fact, you usually need 3 ripe bananas to make this recipe. We didn't have 3 ripe bananas, so we rounded it out with some applesauce. So a lot of you probably have applesauce in your pantry. So we did. So I'll show you here what Rain's got. He's mashed up a couple of bananas and some applesauce, and we've made it into this total mash here. We're going to add it to our bowl, and we're going to start adding some other ingredients. So we start with ripe bananas. So definitely, if you have a lot of bananas at home, I don't know about you, but we buy about 3 to 4 bunches of bananas a week, and whatever is left over, which sometimes is none, some weeks is a lot. Whatever's left over, we peel them and we put them in the freezer. And these can be used for smoothies, like that chocolate banana smoothie that we made yesterday. Or you can keep them for banana bread or muffins like these. So we have that in here. We're going to add an egg, just 1 egg. Yes, this one right here. We are lucky. We're out of the city. We have these eggs come from chickens that are right next door, so we're very fortunate. And we're also, just while Rain's rinsing his hands here, we're going to add coconut sugar. Now, you can add whatever sugar you like. I'm going to put all the measurements in the comments below, so don't worry about that. Here, Rain, you want to stir that up? And you don't need a lot of sugar, but you can use anything. So if you have white sugar, you can use white sugar, brown sugar, coconut sugar. You can use maple syrup. You can use honey. But just make sure if you're using something really sweet like a maple syrup or a honey, you don't need as much. And there's also going to be sweetness from those ripe bananas. So we're trying to keep, the sugar levels a little bit low just for our health during this pandemic, right? We don't want to eat unhealthy all the time, right, Rain?
Yep.
So these are a great snack for the kids. Also, we can add just a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of avocado oil, about a tablespoon. And the applesauce that we put in actually is a really great alternative to oil so that we don't have to add as much. A lot of muffin recipes have, a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup of oil in them. And we, again, are trying to make these as healthy as we can. So these are our wet ingredients here. So in here, we've got the banana, the applesauce, the egg, and the sugar. And we've mixed all that together. And now in the same bowl, we're not going to make a lot of dishes here. We are going to add our dry ingredients. Yeah. So Rain is going to add 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour. Now, there is a difference between whole wheat and whole grain. We usually like to use whole grain flour because it means exactly as it sounds, the entire grain is used, the whole grain, and it's just ground up. Whole wheat flour, a lot of the time, yes, it says whole wheat, and they're using all the components of wheat, but it typically is just white flour with those wheat components added back in. But still, it's still better for you. It's still higher in fiber than a white all-purpose flour. But once again, if you only have all-purpose flour, go ahead and use it. We've got to use what's in our pantry right now. You can't be running out to the store, right? So whatever flour you've got, if you don't have any flour, but you have oats in your pantry, you can grind those up and make oat flour, and it will work perfectly in this recipe. Spelt flour. You can use probably some gluten-free ones, but I don't know about almond flour and coconut flour. Might make them a little bit crumbly. Anywho, we're using whole wheat flour. We're going to add some baking soda and baking powder. Just a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Oh, that's 1/2 tablespoon, sweetie. Oh. Want to make sure we're adding a 1/2 teaspoon. And then we're going to add a tablespoon of baking powder. Now, if you don't have both of these ingredients, you can just use one and just sort of average it out. Muffins are a very forgiving recipe. This is a quick bread recipe. So you don't really have to worry about the science behind it so much. They might be a little bit more dense, or they might be a little bit fluffier depending on your, ratios. That's a tablespoon. So we want to do a teaspoon of baking powder. Yep. But really, it's really hard to mess up a muffin recipe. And this is why these are so great to make with your kids. Right, Rain?
Yep.
Yeah. And so after we add that, we're going to add a little bit of salt. We're going to add a touch of cinnamon as well. Cinnamon is a really great anti-inflammatory too, so it's always nice to have just a touch of cinnamon in our day. That's perfect. And like I said, we're doing this all in one bowl. You just add it right on top, and Rain's going to mix all that in, just kind of fold that flour in. And then I'm going to walk over here while he's doing that and show you what we're using for our buried treasure muffins. So today we're going to make 3 different kinds, so it really is a surprise. So of course, we're using some chocolate chips because I cannot get away from chocolate chips with my kids. So a third of these muffins will have chocolate chips in them. We are using some frozen blueberries. So we don't really have fresh right now. So we're going to have some frozen ones. And you'll see how we add those when we get to it. And yes, I did wash my hands. And then here we have some pineapple, which is going to be a really nice surprise too. We could use frozen blackberries, frozen strawberries, any mix you have. You could throw bananas in the middle, a big chunk of banana in the middle. What else, Rain? What could we add to the middle of these muffins to make them delicious?
We could add you could cut up a strawberry, throw some of that in. We could also put, I don't know, if you have different types of chocolate, you could put those in. Yeah, so chocolate, fruit, even if you're not allergic to nuts, we could put peanut butter in the middle, right? That might be a nice surprise. Yeah, we definitely, perfect. So this is actually quite thick. If you wanted to thin it out a little bit, you could. You could add a little bit of milk, you could add a little bit of water. We're just going to leave it, and we're going to show you how we're going to make these buried treasure muffins. So Rain, I want you to do these 3, okay? 3, all right.
So what we're doing is just adding half of the amount. We just kind of want to coat the bottom of the muffin tin. And we can add probably a little bit more to that one. And then we're going to just put in our secret ingredients. And here, we can even use a little spoon to spread it out a little bit. All right, so we're just going to kind of spread this out in the bottom, cover it up. And this is not an exact science, but when you look at all these different steps, you think, no matter how old your kids are, they can help you with this. Even if they're really little, you can get them to stir and mix. They can do this part, right? So we're just putting a couple chocolate chips in the middle there. Next one, what are we going to do?
Some blueberries.
Some blueberries. Here, you can use that spoon if you want.
That's fine.
Okay, so we're going to add some blueberries in the middle of this one. Delicious. And in this one, we're going to put a big piece of pineapple. All right. And then we're going to just chop them off and cover them with some more of that batter. All right, Rain, you want to do those too? And these are going to bake in a 350-degree oven for probably, I would say, about 15 to 20 minutes. You want them to be nice and brown on the top and not shiny. And that is absolutely perfect. So
there you go.
There you go. We have our buried treasure muffin. So that is our recipe for today. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. We're going to be on here every day at 10:30 making a snack. We're going to try and change it up every single day for you guys and give you something that you can do at home with your kids, something healthy that you can make with them. If you have any ideas, if there's anything you want to see on here, please tune in and let us know. Comment below. We're going to post that recipe for you guys. And if you have any questions, as always, please, please, please get in touch with us and ask. Have a great Friday, everyone. Bye-bye.